Philip S. Greenwalt of Emerging Civil War, and today is the 155th anniversary of the conclusion of the Battle of Cold Harbor, fought on this day, June 3rd, 1864. Cold Harbor is referred to as the American Golgotha. It's the battlefield that a lot of soldiers never wanted to return to because it marked the end of the Overland Campaign, started on May 5th, 1864 at the Battle of the Wilderness, concluding on June 3rd with the last assaults by the Union Army, and then it began the start of trench warfare. The siege of Petersburg shortly thereafter would start later this month and continue for 9 months, the longest siege in American history. But earlier on this morning, 155 years ago, 3 Union Corps, the 2nd, the 18th, and followed by the 9th Corps, would launch assaults across open ground. It is the only assault that Ulysses S. Grant, the overall commander of Union forces by this juncture of the war, regretted in his memoirs. A few thousand soldiers lose their lives in a matter of 30 minutes, equivalent to the same amount of men that lost their lives at the Pickett's charge at Gettysburg on July 3rd of 1863. There was some success, though. A slight break in the Confederate lines held by Major General John Cabell Breckinridge's troops. They were brought in from the Shenandoah Valley. Fierce hand-to-hand fighting, epitomizing soldiers from as far away as Florida and Maryland, Virginians as well, pushing back the 2nd Corps, the lodging. One of these assaults across the open field, of course, was memorialized earlier the night before, supposedly by a Union staff officer saying that he watched the men stitch their names in the back of their jackets. There's no contemporary account of that happening, but it's one of the things that in our collective memory has circled down. So June 3rd would end with both sides kind of in their same position, sniping at each other, trench warfare. It is hot in Virginia, and so a lot of the soldiers just remember the pitiful sounds of the wounded caught between no man's land, because the next few days, Robert E. Lee and Ulysses S. Grant would haggle over the flag of truce, which was a sign, a mission of defeat. And so a lot of soldiers would expire in between what is called no man's land. Trench warfare existing from here would see the end of the assaults. Grant had made it to the James River. From here, he would cross over onto the south side, eventually attack Petersburg, which is the critical hub, transportation hub to Richmond. So, if you're interested in these battlefields, if you're interested in visiting, Cold Harbor is preserved by the National Park Service today. There's also opportunities to save more land down there. You can look at our friends, the American Battlefield Trust. But the Emerging Civil War book, Hurricane from the Heavens, that I co-authored with Dan Davis, will get you onto the fields across these hollowed ground where some of these soldiers fought for either survival of the United States or the separation and the fledgling Confederate States of America. So, 155 years ago, the final assaults, June 3rd, 1864 at the Battle of Cold Harbor. I'm Philip S. Greenwalt with Emerging Civil War, and we hope to see you out on the field.